Ay, coming in, yeah. Flex, I just wanna win, yeah. LABB, who we running with, yeah. 2233, I'm on 10 again, yeah. State your name, been dope on flame. I just switched the lanes. Damn, he did it again.
What's up, guys? It's your homegirl, Just Juju, and this is Always 718. I have a very special guest today, and I'm so excited about this one. Introduce yourself.
I am Aleesha. A lot of people call me Aleesha K, but I go by the name of Aleesha, and I am an actress and a model.
Oh, okay. So I was gonna get into that, but yes, she is an actress and a model, and I just wanted to basically have you on the show because we have a lot in common, and we know each other from where?
From our acting class. So it's really amazing to actually be interviewed by you, since I watch you in class all the time and we watch each other, and it's the coolest thing ever, and we're learning together. So that's a really good thing.
Okay. All right. So let's skip all the formalities because we don't really talk like this when we do talk to each other, because we just have to get all of that out of the way, right?
Right.
So, yes, right. So, first off, the show is called Always 718, and of course, I have to ask you, what area code do you represent?
Of course, the 407, Orlando.
407. Okay, 407 Orlando. And I just want to know, were you raised in Orlando, or do you just live in Orlando now?
No, I wasn't raised here in Orlando. I'm actually originally from Ohio, but I was a military child. So I have been everywhere you can think of in the United States, that is. And so I am now currently in the 407. Been here since I was a teenager, and I'm here now. I've been here for quite some time. So I represent the 407.
Okay, that's what's up. So a military, and I don't like to say military brat because I just think you're well traveled, and it's dope when you get a chance to see different parts of the country. So I've always been fascinated by military children that got a chance to live in different cities. So yeah, all right. So Ohio. And Ohio, right?
Yes.
Ohio. Okay, so let's get into the part of how we know each other. We already established that we know each other from acting school, and I wanted to ask you a question about, what did you think about me when you first met me?
When I met you, the first thing I thought is she's definitely a New Yorker. And
Always 718, and exactly correct. Right?
Absolutely. I know a lot of New Yorkers. I have a lot of friends that are New Yorkers, and one of my favorite actresses, Tachina Arnold, is from New York. So you remind me of her.
Arnold from New York?
I believe she is from New York.
Or from Jersey.
Maybe Jersey. It's all the same to us that are not from there. We can't. So that's immediately who I thought of when I heard your voice and saw your personality. I thought Tachina Arnold is in the house.
She called me, yes, that's what you did, girl. But I took that as a compliment because I love her and Tisha Campbell. They're like two of my favorite actresses, singers. Martin was the show back in the day, so I used to love Martin. But yeah, so now I know we asked what you thought about me, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you what I thought about you.
Oh no.
Yes, I have to tell you because when I first met you and we just in class, I'm just watching everybody and I'm looking and I'm just like, Aleesha is just she's cool, calm, and collected. You're just very statuesque. You're just something regal about you.
Call me stoic.
Stoic and just proper and just very articulate, educated, and just a lady, right? Not loud like me, right? So now that's when I first met you in class. But
that's what you thought.
That's what I thought.
I'm a great
actor. When I got on the phone with you, and then I was like, "What's your sign, girl?"
Sagittarius.
Sagittarius, fire. I said, Sagittarius, this chick is not full we started talking, and I was like, now I really got a chance to hear the real deal. But no, but you are all of those things, but you definitely do have another side. So let me ask you, do people normally just judge a book by its cover when it comes to you? Do they usually come up to you? What do they usually say to you when they meet you?
It depends on whether they're male or female, because I get different reactions. Most people in a business setting, I have my game face on and I'm really concentrating. When someone's talking to me, I'm concentrating. Now, if it's a male that comes up to me, it just depends, because I have a lot of males are interested in me, so they come at me with that game face on, like, yeah, I'm going to get your number. I'm going to leave you my number. You're about to be mine. So I get that. A lot of them are surprised that I'm extremely intelligent. They equate beauty with no brains, and they're very surprised when I pretty much can speak on any subject. I'm very well versed in just about every subject. I do speak more than one language also. And as far as the women are usually, they don't know how to deal with me. A lot of times, you see me in class. Now I know we both don't look like this in class. When we're in class, we have our class face on. As far as hair, my hair is up in class, etc., because that's how you're supposed to be, concentrating on your craft. But with women, when they see me looking like this, they're very surprised, they're very taken aback. And a lot of times what happens is I become a threat to them. And they usually try to sabotage me. Most women don't like me. They try to sabotage me, depending on what my environment is. So with women, I always have to watch my step. And I have to be very careful in who I let into my inner circle, because especially since I model, the acting thing I don't tend to get a lot of grief from. But when it comes to modeling, women have this thing about, oh, you think you're so beautiful because you're a model, or you're all that, or, oh, you like attention. And, I've realized that this is something that a lot of times I keep under wraps in my real life, my real job, etc. And I downplay what I look like a majority of the times. And you've seen me in class, and I look like a totally different person. So that's usually the attention I get. And I also have other issues too when it comes to couples. I definitely have a problem meeting couples as well and being friends, because again, I seem to be the threat on all levels. For some strange reason, everybody thinks I want what they have, and I don't want any of that.
Whoa, that was a lot right there. So yeah, I'm glad that you really got it. You just went straight into all the shade, all the stuff, all the hate, and that's basically what it is. It's really hate and being intimidated by somebody that you don't even know. And what I could say for me is I wasn't intimidated by you, but I was just like, she's like one of them quiet ones that really wasn't that quiet, but you was giving me that quiet vibe. But you know what they say about quiet girls, right?
Yeah, but I'm in class. I'm trying to focus. I'm trying to act here. I'm trying to learn skills. So I've always been taught you need to pay attention to the instructor and not be all over the place. So I came from a prim and proper church background as well. So you pay attention when the preacher is preaching. You pay attention. You don't and have right. So that's pretty much where I came from. And also, again, I model and I'm on television when I model. I'm one of the models on the Home Shopping Network. Well, that's live television. So when I'm live on TV, I have to be really careful. I have cameras, almost 15 cameras swinging around me, in front of me. And I, again, have to learn how to be still. You have to learn how to be still and aware of what's happening. And when you're live on television, if you fall, you just fell on live television. Or if a camera hits you in the head, it hits you in the head because you were moving and you weren't supposed to. So I'm trained to do that. And also my background, I came from Disney.
Disney. A lot of people in Orlando.
Yes, I was a Disney character I guess you would say a character / dancer. And I danced on a 10-foot float. I was one of the muses from the Hercules parade at Hollywood Studios. Back then it was MGM Studios. Again, I have been trained to do certain things and not do certain things for safety purposes as well. So, I try to pay attention as much as possible. And in this industry, you're taught to pay attention and actually keep your mouth shut a lot, because a lot of times when you're on the set, you will miss instructions, you will miss really important things if you're talking and goofing around. So unfortunately, I've been trained that when I am in an environment where I need to listen, I sit and listen. So people, normally they take me the wrong way. They always take me as a stoic person, and it always shocks me because I know who I really am.
Yeah, and I got a chance to know who you are too, and I love it, okay? Because you have to, yeah, you have to be like that though. And you're a fun girl. We have a lot in common, and I love talking to you, and it's just always great. We always have long conversations. But you're right, especially in this industry. If you're all over the place and you're not paying attention and you're not actively listening and observing, because I feel like you observe a lot too. And that's very important. You should be watching what's going on. A lot of people don't, they're always quick to have their input instead of just listening. And you'll get a lot farther. I had to learn that myself, just being a person in general, that you have to listen more. You have to listen, and you have to just, sometimes you just have to listen and pay attention and be quiet. Mm-hmm. So I like that. That's what you said. So now I know you touched on some of your background. I want to know more. Like, when did you start acting? Like, when did you say, hey, you know what? Because I know you did the modeling and everything like that. You started off with the modeling, but I want to know, like, when did you say, you know what, I'm going to try my hand at acting?
I would say probably about 3 years ago, I started becoming interested in acting because modeling, at the time when I first started a long time ago, you were limited. You were limited by age, size, race, sometimes, etc. And so I started to realize that as the modeling started to slow down, I said, you know what, maybe I should go into acting. Now, when I was younger, when I was a child, I wanted to be Annie. And my mother told me that I could never be Annie because I was a little brown girl, and little brown girls cannot be Annie. And that broke my heart because I love that movie.
I love that movie too.
Yeah. And so, when I got older, I don't know, I just never let that go out of my heart. And to this day, I still want to be an Annie. If anybody want to cast me, sure, I'll do it. But so I started to look into acting because I thought, you know what, I could do that. And I want to learn that skill. But it also scared me to death because with modeling, I'm that person that naturally was able to model. I actually was signed a long time ago by an agent that just signed me. Should I say his name?
Are you gonna name drop?
Oh yeah, I would love to. Douglas Bailey. I would like to.
Oh, okay.
Douglas, he actually signed me at 19 years old to BMG Models, BMG Entertainment, I believe that's what they call it. But I was signed at 19 years old, and I wasn't even where I was supposed to be. As far as, I wasn't there to get signed or become a model. What happened was I was there with someone else who was there to be a model, and I was just hanging out, and they were giving away free pizza. And anyone that knows me, they know I love to eat. And so at the time, I was there, and this guy was like, stand in line, maybe you could become a model. I was extremely thin at the time, very young, had that waif look going on, the skinny mini look. And got in line, and next thing you know, I'm at this convention. There are agents from New York, from LA, and not one of them called my name. The only one that called my name was Douglas Bailey from BMG. And I had already walked off the stage and said, oh, well, they don't want me. That's fine. I don't care. And walked away, and the entire corner of girls started screaming. And I'm looking around like, is there something wrong? They're like, run back on the stage. Run back on the stage. And I run on the stage like, what did I do wrong? And they're like, we want to sign you. And everybody went crazy. And I was standing there in shock like, who, me? I have no idea what I'm doing. I had no idea. And here I am. That's where everything started.
And I love stories like that because I hear that a lot in this industry. Sometimes just being at the right place at the right time, you can get an opportunity. And I hear that a lot. A lot of times people tag along with their friends, and a lot of times auditions and places you go, they don't want you bringing people with you, especially the shoes. If they're not talent, you shouldn't be bringing your homegirl, your homeboy, your boyfriend, your husband, and none of that with you, just you. But sometimes just being there and being seen by somebody can get you an opportunity. And look where, look where it's brought you. So now I have some more questions for you. Okay.
Okay.
I know that we already discussed like some of your background as far as your acting and your modeling. And I love when you told me the Disney, because I thought about that a long time ago when I was still in New York. I said, I want to get into like the singing and the theater and all of that. So since I was getting older, I said maybe I should go on a Disney cruise. Maybe I should be one of the Disney characters or something. But I just said, you know what? That's not gonna work for me. I want to get into it and really study and focus. And I don't want to just go there and get distracted. But I know for a fact that a lot of people come out of Disney. A lot of major talent has come from Disney. People like Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears.
Wayne Brady.
Huh?
Wayne Brady.
Wayne Brady, another one. And Orlando is, a lot of people don't, I'm twisted around, girl. Like this little swivel chair is twisted around. But a lot of people don't realize how Orlando is a hotbed for talent as well. Like, coming from New York, you automatically know you're going to get talent. But I would like to say we are in one of the best, if not the best, acting school in Orlando, right?
Absolutely. Truthful acting. Absolutely.
Yeah, shout out to Truthful Acting. And when I was looking for school, I was worried about, am I going to get the same quality as being up in New York? Do I have to be in New York? Do I have to be in LA, right? I couldn't figure out if I wanted to stay in New York or come back here, because I still know I had that in my heart that that's what I wanted to do. But you know what? I found Truthful and I loved it. So now the question that I was originally going to say, or not even the question, it was more so a statement. Orlando has a lot of talent, okay? And we just touched on that, like Wayne Brady. I mean, I think Amanda Seales is from Orlando too, right? I think she's from Orlando. A lot of people
sure. I'm not sure where she's from, but I do know that a couple of the members from, I believe, the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, they started off here, a couple of them, because I used to date a guy that was on the show with them on the Mickey Mouse Club. So that's a whole nother.
Oh, you used to date a Mickey Mouse Clubber?
Yeah, kind of.
That's lit. I want to talk about the dating stuff. I do have a lot of questions for you personally, yes. But there is so much going on in the news, okay? And I'm going to get into that. I don't want to get all crazy because I love talking to you, and the problem is when we get on the phone, we'll be on the phone for hours. So this interview could just go all over the place if we don't reel it in. So now, let me get to some of the questions that I have real quick, and then we're just gonna get into all the crazy stuff that's going on in the news. So number one, all right, you did say that you're doing the Home Shopping Network, right?
Yes.
I know that you're doing commercials.
Yes.
What else has anybody possibly seen you in?
I have been in a couple of short films, and don't even ask me the names because I can't even remember at this point. I've been in short films, and I mostly do because I'm a commercial model, so I'm more so in commercials. So I have been mostly on the Home Shopping Network. When it comes to acting, I'm still new at acting, so I've done a couple of student films, and I'm actually about to do a web series. And it's called Ravenwood, as a matter of fact, and I'm going to play the Queen of the Vampires. So
Ravenswood, that sounds amazing. I love stuff like that. I love sci-fi vampires. You would make a good vampire.
I think so too, and I've actually never played a vampire. I tend to play a lot of mothers, and it's very strange sometimes for me because I don't have children. I don't even have pets. I have no goldfish. I have nothing. So with that being said, it's very odd for me to play a parent when I'm not. The only reference that I have as far as being a parent are my parents or my nephew, who's also a performer as well. So since he's my nephew, I'm able to kind of parent him.
How do you feel though? Like, how do you feel? I know a lot of people, sometimes they feel some type of way. Like,
I mean, I realize that this industry, they look at what you look like and what they can make you into. So you can't take it personal no matter how they type you, because you have a particular type. I have a type, and my type is mom. And I play a mom normally, you know, younger mom in between, kind of middle-aged mom, younger to middle age. And so, of course, most moms in that age range have children. So, you know, I had to learn to accept that, and I had to understand that in many scenarios. And we're in the world of Disney, we're in the world of theme parks. So they're always trying to sell their product to families. So I had to keep that in mind and understand. I even have some stage dogs as well. So I have stage dogs as well, that will be part of productions, etc. So we're about to get some pictures with the dogs, as a matter of fact, to make sure we have them. But it's one of those things where you learn, and after you've been in this industry for quite some time, you realize that you are what you look like, not what you actually are in real life. So I get cast for African American, I get cast for Hispanic, I get cast for Caribbean, all types of things. And so it's whatever you look like, not what you are. And once you realize that and you accept that, then it's very easy to just kind of gel into anything they put you in, because you know, once the cameras go off and the lights go off, you can go back to being who you really are.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You have to be really grounded when you're stepping into any kind of entertainment field, because it's really all about perception and what these people perceive your character to look like or to be. And it may not be, it might be farthest from the truth. It might be like the complete opposite of who you really are. And what you really have to understand is you cannot take anything personally, because it will tear you up if you do. And once I started learning, and I still have trouble with certain things, because when people, like when we're in class and I do try to do like our exercises, and I don't feel like I'm getting it right, and I get my little critique, I'll be like, damn, I knew I messed that up.
We all go through that today in class. I completely bombed. I bombed 2 weeks in a row, but you know what? I've learned that in this industry, you win some, you lose some, and you just kind of go in there wholeheartedly. It's rare, like even with auditions, it's rare that I have an audition where I walk away and I carry that on me. You know, I let it roll off my back, slide down my chest, whatever. I mean, I recently had an audition that really upset me and everything, but it was because it was a very big opportunity, as you know, and I didn't feel like I did as well as I could have. But
yeah, that was a big opportunity.
Yeah, and those things.
For a major network.
Yes, a major network. So, you know, I thought, here's my chance, and here I blew my chance. And
girl, listen, can I tell you something? What did I say? I don't know if I did tell you this, but if it didn't happen then it wasn't for you.
Yes.
It wasn't the part for you, right?
Yes, that's true. And you know what though? It was one of those crazy situations where not only one thing went wrong, everything went wrong. You name it. You name it, it happened. And then the thing that was the craziest of all is the guy that was doing my video for me. I've seen him on video. I've seen him from afar, but then I show up for this guy to video me and everything's already a disaster. And then he was good looking on top of that. So that really threw me off. And I learned a lesson, and I actually had to speak to one of our instructors at Truthful about that situation, because I walked away just feeling like the last fool. But, you know, and that's not normally me. They know me well enough to know that I usually can keep it together, but I fell all the way apart. I had to pull my vehicle over after this and talk to a friend of mine, and I started laughing and crying at the same time. And I just had to let it out. Once I let it out, it was okay. But I realized that, you know what, once one opportunity has come your way, another will. It definitely will. It just lets me know. After talking to one of our instructors, they were like, now you know next time to make sure you have this, and this in place. And, you know, it's another lesson. You're always learning.
Just a lot of highs and lows, especially acting. It's like you get a lot of no's more than you get yeses, right? And you have to just get used to that, and you just got to just do it for the love of it. Don't do it because you want to be famous and rich. If you do anything in life for money and attention and notoriety, it will not work, because people can tell when you're not being real. People can tell when it's not authentic. So anything that anybody does, you have to do it from your heart. And it has to truly be something that you're happy and passionate about. So yeah. So now we talked all about you.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the stuff that you said and all the information you gave. And I just want you to really get into that Aleesha mode. The Aleesha that I'll be talking to on the phone.
All right, let me sit
Oh
back.
God, yeah. You don't take off that jacket.
Well, I have on my jacket because, trying to cover up my arms. I need to work out, but I'll go ahead and take this jacket off while you guys are waiting. I'll take it.
All right, it's time to take off the jacket. It's time for Aleesha, phone Aleesha, and outside of acting class Aleesha to get right down to business. Zoom. These Zoom interviews are so interesting. So anyway,
I had to turn on my Beyonce fan. It was a little
yes, listen, I said this is my look. I'm trying something new. This quarantine, this pandemic got me trying all types of new stuff. Now, this is what I call my Beyonce. It's my Beyonce wig. So I feel like Beyonce when I wear this wig. So I just be like doing all of this. But usually I don't, I'll wear weaves and stuff like that. But I said, you know what? I can't go get my hair done right now. I said, let me get these. Let me try these wigs. This is the first time I'm really trying to get into the wigs. I was never really into them like that. But yeah. All right. So
they come in handy. They definitely do.
I know, and I know you said you have a whole lot of wigs, right?
I do, and I have them stored away, but I need to pull them out. With me, because I do modeling and things like that, you have to kind of keep your look consistent. So I just kind of stored them away. And I do a lot of cosplay. So with cosplay, I'm wearing...
a lot of what?
Cosplay is when you wear costumes and you do...
Oh, cosplay. Okay.
So I do cosplay as well just for fun. And with cosplay, that's when I get a chance to do the fun thing and wear the colorful wigs, etc. So
I looked on your Instagram and I saw a lot of different color wigs.
Yes, they're all my wigs, and yes, that's my cosplay that I'm talking about. You see me do a lot of superheroes, and
I love them.
I have a lot more shoots that I'm about to do soon, so be on the lookout for that as well. And by the way, if you guys want to follow me, I'm on Instagram at Aleeoops 2017. That's ALEEOOPS 2017.
Yes, girl. We're gonna say it again at the end. I was gonna let you say that at the end, but yes, go follow Aleesha. She has these superhero. I love. It's so cute. You look really dope. I love superhero stuff. And recently one of the blogs put up. I don't remember which one. Who was your favorite Storm? The Halle Berry Storm. Like which hairstyle was your favorite? And of course, I love a short Halle, but when she played Storm, I loved her hair like really big. But yeah. Oh, because it's the 20th anniversary of X-Men, right?
I believe so. It's funny because I believe I've only seen the one movie with Halle Berry in it, but I'm not surprisingly, I'm not a big movie fan. I really don't watch a lot of movies, which a lot of people in the acting community get after me because of that, because I don't watch a lot of movies. I like a lot of the old movies, but the newer movies I have tuned into very few. So I'm pretty bad at that. I think I'm going to start with Harry Potter because everyone is baffled that I've never seen a Harry Potter movie. So
girl, stop! Don't say that, please. Shh, no more. Don't say anything else after that. Now, speaking of not seeing Harry Potter, since we haven't been able to go to see a movie in the movie theater, what's the last movie you actually went into a movie theater to see?
Black Panther. That was the last movie,
girl,
and that movie that made me say, let me get back.
You said Wakanda was the last movie you saw?
Black Panther.
In the theater?
In the theater.
That's the last time you went to the movies?
It is the last time that I can recall, yes. Yes. I don't go to the movies often at all. I watch everything.
Yeah, I go to the movies all the time, but last year I didn't go to the movies for like almost a whole year because I was sick and tired because I would go to the movies every weekend. Like every weekend I'm at the movies. I love the movies. Like my parents used to take us to the movies all the time, and I love movies. I love a lot of different types of movies. I love Well, I don't really love romantic comedy like that. They're okay. I like drama, um, thrillers, psychological thrillers, crime thrillers. I like bank robbing movies are my fave of all
So
time.
you want to be in the next Set It Off, right? Me and you and Set It Off, right?
Yeah, we could be in Set It Off. So you're Vivica.
I'm Vivica, 100%.
Am I Jada? Let's
Uh,
get into okay. So now, speaking of Jada, because we got to get into this. All right, so now it's time for Is It Beef or Is It All Love? Okay, and I don't know if I told you about this segment. I think I did. It's called Is It Beef or Is It All Love? So basically, is we talk about anything, situations, hot topics,
okay.
news topics, anything that we see that might be something that a lot of people might have different opinions about. But also, it's for people that have situations with people and they don't know if they have a real situation. So, but I like to keep it, classy, and I like to keep it cute. So we're gonna just do an Is It Beef or Is It All Love with what's going on in the news. Girl, I lost my life.
I know, and then there was no light. But I think you forgot one thing. You forgot who you told me I look like, because I told you Tachina Arnold, and we agreed that I look like Tawanda Braxton.
Oh my God, yes, I did say you look like Tawanda Braxton.
Yes.
You know what? I did say you look like Tawanda Braxton. Oh, we were trying to figure out, we were talking about who's the Tamar, who's the Tony, and you said you like the Tawanda, and I said, girl, I'm like the Tamar in my family.
Yeah, yeah. And I told you we have a Tamar in my family, except it's a male Tamar.
Yeah, you told me about the male Tamar in your family.
He's
So,
the male
and
Tamar.
speaking,
You
yeah,
were
and
saying
speaking of that,
actually,
because I know
was-
we got to get into Is It Beef or Is It All Love, but I didn't ask you, like, how many siblings do you have?
I have one brother, one sister. It's my sister, my brother, and then myself. So I'm the baby. I'm supposed to be the Tamar, but I'm not. I'm definitely the responsible one. So I'm 100% Tawanda Braxton, except I'm not Tawanda. I'm Aleesha.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you are Aleesha, but you do give me a lot of Tawanda, because even your appearance, and also your the vibe that I get, your aura is the responsible, calm, the fixer type person that will just jump in at any moment and fix the bullshit that everybody created. But I did curse, but we're gonna edit that out. Or maybe not, we're not editing that out. But all right, so that's that. We got into that last part, but what I really want to talk about is it beef or is it all love? And since you set it off and brought up Jada, let's talk about Jada Pinkett Smith. And we're gonna say the word. What's the word? What's the word on the street? What is it?
Yes, entanglement.
Entanglement.
Yes.
That's a new. They had a meme that they put up, and they put entanglement like by Disney. Did you see that?
Right.
The new Disney flick.
Right.
Yeah, entanglement. So let's talk about entanglement. And first of all, there's so many things that's been going on in the news, especially like celebrity news. But there's a lot of beef going on, and a lot of people going back and forth over these celebrities, which to me is like, okay, we don't really know these people, but let's go back and forth over people we don't know. But we are looking at their lives and we're judging, and it's terrible. We all say we don't judge. We do, but I really try my best not to judge people. And I see a lot of that going on with Jada. Jada came out. Well, let's talk about it. So August Alsina comes out, reveals an affair that he had with Jada Pinkett Smith while she was married to Will Smith. And basically everybody is calling Jada out to be some type of predatory type character, which I understand that he was in a broken place, but do you think that Jada is a predator?
No, I think it takes two to tango. They were both grown, and I think that they were both in vulnerable situations. I really feel like you can't blame one or the other. When it comes to two adults, two adults make that decision, whether he was vulnerable or not. He has that mouthpiece that he can say, hey, no. But I think that he was caught up with the fact that Jada was Jada. I think she was caught up with, well, Will is not giving me what I need right now. And here's this fine young boy in front of my face. And I think all of that went down. I mean, we don't know the details behind the scene of, what exactly happened. But a lot of times when people are vulnerable, sometimes they let themselves go and they'll end up in an entanglement.
Yeah, so it's not beef with Jada. Like we stand with Jada, right?
Yeah, I stand with Jada. I mean, because you know what, Will should have been doing his job as the husband, and he was saying,
child, don't talk about my future husband.
Your future husband? Wait a minute, how is that?
I'm just playing. No, shh, be quiet. Listen to this. Listen to what I have to say. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that Will is all innocent. We don't know what Will was doing, or
right.
Maybe we do. All I know is that the way everybody was coming after Jada, and yes, she used the word entanglement, not relationship, which Will clarified was a relationship, an affair. She used the word entanglement. And I think sometimes people like to use certain terms to make themselves feel comfortable with the BS that they done did. And so I think that whole thing with them fist pumping or fist bumping and saying bad marriage for life, and they just kind of made a situation worse. But I respect the fact that Jada was able to go on her own platform and speak her mind and her truth. And they didn't bash that guy. They didn't say, hey, he was terrible and he's lying. They owned up to it. People didn't like the way they owned up to it. But at the end of the day, those people don't owe anybody an explanation for nothing. No. And that's what people need to understand, right? People need to understand that these people that you put on these pedestals and you idolize are people. And when they fall short, all of a sudden they swarm. They try to kick them when they're down. And I just think it's really ridiculous to see how people are talking about Jada and Will. Like, y'all don't know them, but we doing it right now. So anyway, we don't have beef with the Pinkett or Smith family. We don't even have beef with August. Me personally, what do you think? He should have kept his mouth shut?
I think, well, should he have kept his mouth shut? It's up to him, because you know what? Maybe it was something that was bothering him, or maybe it was, they may have been having some chat behind the scenes, and maybe he was threatened. You never know. I mean,
that's another plot twist. There's some other stuff coming out too, and I don't want to talk about it, huh?
In Hollywood, a lot of times people keep their mouths shut because they're trying not to hurt their careers, etc., or trying not to get hurt. But with that being said, we also have things coming out about Will, and see, Will is a bigger star than Jada. I don't know if you.
We know that. We know that.
Star. But with that being said, that means he probably has skeletons in his closet as well. So people coming at just Jada, they have to understand. I mean, word on the street has been for years that they have had an open marriage where they were able to see whomever. So that is the thing. She said, "Oh, I had an entanglement." It seems like Will is coming across like, well, I can do my thing, but you can't do yours. And I think she probably was like, no, I'm going to show you I can do the same.
And you know what? And I'm glad you pointed it out, because is it beef or is it all love? Why is it that, and I'm not by any means excusing adultery. And I'd like to say one thing. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But what I don't like when people that never been married have a lot to say about married folk business. And I'm just saying, y'all need to chill, because if you ain't never signed that paper and you ain't never went in that church, and if you ain't never went in front of that judge or had a ceremony and had witnesses and signed, I don't really want to hear what you can have your opinion, but they be doing the most. They're like adamant about it. And I'm like, you ain't never got to the point of even getting married. So why are you whatever, right? How do you feel? Is that beef or is that all love to you?
I think, well, when you say is that beef or is that all love, you mean the people that are getting in other people's business?
Yes. Are you okay with unmarried people voicing their opinion on married people business?
I think that's beef because you know what? Those are people who apparently don't have their own business to be entangled within. When you are married, it's a whole nother ball game. It's different from being single because you're accountable for yourself and another person. And
Right.
you have to deal with another person's feelings, emotions, everything from A to Z. A single person really can't speak on a marriage because it is something that you just cannot describe until you're in it. And I mean, I feel like those are just people that don't have enough time on their hands, and obviously
Right.
they can't get
Right.
sleep
Right. Right.
because they're
Right.
sitting
Right.
at
Right.
home talking about you.
Right. Right. Right.
Mhm.
So yeah. So I just wanted to say that part. And no shade to anybody that's not married. You can have your opinion, but like just chill because if you've never been married before, you should definitely just sit certain things out and let the married people talk about certain things. But yeah, and I feel like and I'm not gonna ask you if you've ever been in an entanglement, and I sure as hell ain't gonna reveal if I ever been. But you know what? I think a lot of people been in entanglements and don't even know that they were in entanglements. But what
Part
I
of
would
life. It's a
what
part of
I
life.
would urge people to do is stop being judgmental and stop being always willing to tear the next person down, because I think those people, that family, that man that came out and said that, and also Angela Yee. Angela Yee did that interview. A lot of people, I loved it. I think she did an amazing job. I think she did a dope job, but some other people might not be happy that she even did that interview. And that's not
I
fair to
don't
her.
I actually don't believe I saw the actual interview. I think I saw like a clip, and I love Angela Yee, by the way. But I don't think I've seen the interview. I'm gonna have to. And the Will and Jada interview, I actually haven't seen. I've only seen clips from.
Girl, get on Facebook and watch that interview. It was
I
really short.
will.
It was one of the shortest Red Table Talks I've ever seen.
I love Red Table Talk. I absolutely love that show, and I love it because it is controlled by Jada and her family, and it's not the normal media outlets, and I really like that. I like that part of it because they can be more raw. They can talk about whatever they want to talk about. So I
Yes,
really
I
enjoy
love it too. I
it.
love the fact that you're able to do certain things and on your own platform and then just put it out to the public instead of going through all these different networks, red tape that you have to go through.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm glad that we touched on that entanglement topic because I just think that a lot of people judge people unfairly, and I think that we talked about it enough. So I want to move on to the next is it beef or is it all love topic, okay? And of course, it's another thing in the news. Do you follow the rapper Meg Thee Stallion?
I do.
Okay, so now recently it came out that she was involved in some type of altercation where the rapper singer Tory Lanez got arrested.
And she got shot. I don't know if you know that or not, but
Oh,
I read
I know that, but that wasn't the report at first.
it wasn't.
So now I think what happened, and we're talking about people's business, but I think what happened is they didn't want to come out and said that she got shot. They said it was broken glass or whatever, but she came out later saying that everything was being reported inaccurately, right?
Yeah.
So now at first it was Tory got arrested on gun charges, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now her producer's coming out. I hope y'all don't think he had nothing to do with it. So now, because is it beef or is it all love? But when did telling stuff on the internet become, especially when there's a police investigation going on, okay on the internet? When did that become okay?
You know what? I think this current culture altogether, they are from a whole nother era. I mean, they pretty much feel like snitching. We kind of have the 50-50 thing. Snitching is okay, snitching is not okay. It seems like in this day and age, there is no real set of rules to anything. And so
There's no code.
noticing if it saves their own neck, they will snitch. And in this case, I'm not sure who it is that put that online, but come on, a police investigation that also involves you in whatever the situation is. So if you get online and you decide you're going to tell it, guess who's going to be sitting right in front of the cops? You. So whoever put that out there, then they just put themselves into the case as well. So it's
exactly, because if you weren't there, even if you were there, if you weren't there, now you there because you put that on. The police, what people don't realize is this is the age of the internet, and the police use Instagram like evidence. So whatever you put out there, whatever emotions you put out there, they're gonna track that, and they're gonna look at it like, oh, well, you said you posted this. People are not realizing that everything, and I post a lot, and I do a lot of stuff on social media now, but people need to understand, like, there's certain things that you don't need everybody to know. And you don't need, and I'm not excusing Tory if he in fact shot Meg, because if he shot that woman, oh, that is deep, that is crazy. And yes, I love him as an artist, and persona and all the quarantine radio, and before everybody that knows him now, I was listening to him years ago. But I'm just saying, if he shot that woman for whatever reason, let the police handle it the way they need to handle it, or let it be handled however. But everybody, like me and you, we don't need to know.
No.
3 days later, right?
No, we don't need to know. But again, this is the current culture. They don't seem to have I shouldn't say common sense, but they just feel like everything needs to be out on social media. Social media is something that can make or break you. You can go to prison behind social media. And see, a lot of people don't realize how powerful this tool is. And so, especially if you are in the public eye, this is something that can make or break you. And I mean, we have several celebrities learning this the hard way. Nick Cannon.
So let's there's just so much, like, and it was like this week was just heavy with celebrity drama. It's just like, and the blogs were just on fire this week. We got definitely always beefing with the president of the United States. Him now. We got the I think it was the CEO of Goya.
I read a piece of an article. I'm not 100% sure, but what I think is happening, I thought I read that the CEO of Goya is backing Trump.
Yes.
And Goya is a product that I use, and many other Hispanics.
I use it too.
Yeah,
what are we gonna do?
And it really is rubbing people the wrong way, because a lot of the Spanish community do not stand behind Trump. There are some that do, but a lot don't.
A lot, especially in South Florida. No shade.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I will throw that a 50-50 thing too, but a lot do not. And so that they're in an uproar about it. And I've heard, I don't know how real this is, I heard he was posing with cans of Goya beans.
He was posing with cans of Goya in the Oval Office on his desk. His daughter was posing with a Goya can of beans. So I don't know, girl. Like, it's just like every day is something new we have to cancel. I mean, I use sazon and adobo in my food all the time. That's those are my two main. I just told y'all my secret spices that I put in my fried chicken.
The sazon.
They ain't take that and taking that away from us too. Why he have to go and do that? That's definitely be like. It's just tough. It's just tough. I can't imagine like what's gonna come of 2021, because by the time we get to 2021, we ain't gonna have nothing left. We're not gonna have no places to go. Y'all let's start supporting the Black businesses like we say we're gonna do, and start owning our business, starting up our businesses, and really go out and support. Like, I need to find out who has some beans and some seasonings, and I need to go substitute my Goya stuff, because I can't use it now. Because look what they're doing. We can't support that. We can't support that. All the racial stuff that's going on, and then you want to go there and going back to the celebrity stuff, Nick Cannon gets fired. It's just, everything is just going crazy.
Well, then when I woke up this morning, I saw an article, and again, I didn't get a chance to really research it, but they said that they decided not to fire Nick after all.
Just from one, I believe it was just from his the Masked Singer. Right. But I don't think it was from everything else.
Yeah, I don't know whether Viacom owns that or not, but I know it was Viacom / and then I saw the Masked Singer. but I don't, without researching it, I don't know which network they're on. But he came back with an apology because I guess he was saying that they took it the wrong way. He didn't mean it the way that it was taken, etc. And he came forth and apologized to the Jewish community, which people are up in arms over that too, because I didn't hear that. I didn't hear what he said. But a lot of people are like, why are you going to say one thing and then backtrack on it later on? And again, I didn't even get a chance to hear the interview or whatever he said. Was it a post or was it something?
It was a podcast. I believe it was a podcast that he had done, and some snippets came out. And there were some terms, basically, I'm not going to go into everything. If y'all want to see it, y'all could go see it. And basically, I think that it's beef for me. Just because every time Nick Cannon speaks out on Black issues, he's fired. And this is a man that's been in the industry for years and years, since he was a kid. And they always take him, and he's always a good token Black that they like to throw in. But when Nick got too Black and started saying a lot of stuff, it's like, oh no, he started wearing his turbans, he started doing they're like, we don't want this Nick. He's doing wild and out. They don't want that Nick. They want the other Nick. They want the Nick. He was with Mariah, and he was before that the corny Nick, the Nick that everybody thought was corny.
Well, it's one of those things though in the entertainment industry. A lot of times, it's usually not a good idea to become too political, because you have to think in terms of, this is my job, and just like any other job, you and I both work kind of in the same industry in our real lives, and it doesn't matter what company you represent. They have a right to say, we're going to pay you or we're not. We're going to fire you or we're not. So you have to always keep that in mind, whether it's Nick and he's famous, or whether it's you and I who we work in an industry outside of here. We have to keep that in mind, that somebody is check. So you have to be mindful of that. And that's the thing. I think sometimes celebrities forget that. They forget that someone is signing my check. And you can't go around saying things or doing things that are going to be hurtful to things like race, religion, sexual orientation. You have to always keep in mind that if you were to offend someone and they happen to be that person to sign your check, you could lose that check. And the entertainment industry is like no other. And we've discussed this before, where I said in entertainment, you don't just lose a job like you would do a regular job. You lose your entire everything. And they blacklist you. They blacklist you to the point where you can't get a job. You lose everything. I mean, for instance, look at people like Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey lost everything behind a money dispute behind the scenes. And this man had how many different shows and everything. The plug was pulled on all of that. And it was basically however he handled it. I don't know what exactly was said, but he lost everything behind that. Everyone says, oh, well, he can do the internet. Yes, he can. But you just lost what you have built for how many years now, based off of you wanting to do whatever you wanted to do or say what you wanted to say. There are certain things, there's time and a place for everything, and you have to handle things in a business-like manner if you want to stay, in the industry, and it is what it is. And I mean, I'm not saying don't be outspoken, but I'm saying think before you speak, and that's why people like publicists exist, attorneys, etc. And when you are the talent, you have to always remember, I am the talent and someone signs my paycheck. So you can't just go out here being reckless. If you want to be reckless, then you may just be unemployed, and you have to always keep that in mind. We all have bills to pay.
Or just be on your own platform, your own network, and be your own boss, and not have to answer to none of these people. At some point, you're going to have to deal with certain people, because a lot of these people are interconnected, and you have to go through certain situations and people to move around in this entertainment. But all right, well, I'm glad, because I wanted to talk about that. A lot of people are like, we stand with Nick, and I feel the same way. I stand with them. I don't necessarily agree with the wording and every exact, but I know what he was saying. I know what he was saying. And I'm by no means racist and believe that he's an anti-Semite or anti-Semitic. I do not believe that at all. I believe that he's been in industry so long. How? You know what I'm saying? And so I don't like the way they did that, especially during, it's definitely beef. It's like it was a power move. Like during the Black Lives Matter movement, like people are protesting. We're talking about Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and then you're going to go, one of our main public black figures from, you're gonna pull him out and just single him out and do that. But anyway, I'm glad that we got a chance to talk about that. I do want to say, in more news this week, entertainment news, Naya Rivera passed away. We were looking for her. They were looking for her. She Lake Peru in Ventura, California, right? And we are both in acting and into entertainment and Glee. Even watching her as a young girl, like on Family Matters, all these different shows that she's been on since she was a little tiny. I'm sad.
I'm sad too. And the thing is, again, I've never seen Glee either. It was just something I wasn't interested in. But I remember her from Family Matters as a little girl. And when she was flirting with Little Richie,
yes,
girl, I was like, who is this little girl?
This
like,
little girl is dope.
I loved her on that show. And that's mostly what I remembered her from. And then when she got older, I've seen photos of her. I saw her singing and everything else. And, but again, I didn't tune into Glee or any of the other shows. I just kind of saw her on interviews, etc. And I was amazed that this little girl with all this talent, she just seemed like a little woman in a little girl's body.
Yes, she was.
She's so beautiful, and, to be a mom. And when I saw the reports, the first thing I thought was it was an accident because she made sure she got her son in that boat.
Right.
That's to me seemed like a mother's love. A mother is going to save a child before they save themselves. And I had said to, I don't know who I was talking to, but I was thinking to a friend, and I basically said, I feel like she slipped and she fell because they were saying she was a good swimmer. I feel like she slipped. Maybe she was putting her son in there. Maybe.
I don't know what happened. I don't think anything. I think it was truly an accident to leave that little baby boy. And I don't know. It's just, things, just a freak accident. And God bless her whole family. We got another one, Kelly Preston.
Yes. And Kelly Preston is another one. It's the strangest thing. I don't know a lot of these actresses. I've seen her face before, and I don't know if I've ever seen her in anything. But she's
been in a lot. She was in Jerry Maguire. I mean, a lot of people know her. She's John Travolta's wife, but she's been in a lot of stuff that I've seen. So she's a well-known actress.
Yeah, because you're surprised
that
you're a big movie buff, and see, again, I
am a movie buff. Yeah, I've always been into movies. So yeah, I know. That's just another person that in the acting world that passed away. But I don't want to talk too much about all of that. There was more people, I believe it was Mandela's daughter, was it?
Yeah, it was his daughter.
It was just a lot. It was a lot of stuff. I got to the point where I just wanted to log off of the internet and not even look at it. And it's just I kept on getting alerts and seeing this and seeing that. I was like, what's going on this week?
It's everything. The thing is, we're getting on with life. I mean, at first we had all the protests, Black Lives Matter, coronavirus, and many other things that have been keeping all of our attention. Now we're starting to come up to speed again with actual things that are going on around us, because we've missed a lot of things that are happening because we're so distracted by those things that are happening. Unfortunately,
right.
People are afraid of this disease or this virus that's going on, and people are also very plugged into what's happening as far as Black Lives Matter, because so many changes are happening. Statues are coming down, they're changing the names of products, et cetera, et cetera. There's so many things happening, but what's interesting is with that, a lot of things like the protests I've noticed have kind of disappeared.
Remember I told you I was going down on the 4th of July. That's the last time I went down. And, I don't know in Orlando, but it's not really, I know there are people protesting still throughout the country. Down here, there's some protests, but the numbers, and here we go again. We got to talk about Corona, because what else are we going to talk about? It ain't go away yet. So it's getting worse. I mean, I had plans. I'm here. I can't go nowhere. I'm like they want my information if I go anywhere. It's like,
Exactly. And it's, I think everybody's afraid at this point. So the protests were going on, and then people are starting to take it more serious because at first, you know, you and I know people were not necessarily taking it seriously
wearing masks.
but now it's, you know, Orlando, Florida, as you know, Florida, we are the leaders in misbehaviors, in misbehavior, I should say. And what were we doing while the rest of the world were wearing masks? We were at the beach. And so,
well, they're having a big volleyball tournament, right?
mm-hmm. Oh, here in Orlando?
Yeah.
Okay, see, again, Florida, because of our weather, a lot of people don't take things seriously. But you and I both are seeing in the whole hospital setting that people are starting to understand a little more, and they're starting to participate and realize that you're putting yourself in jeopardy and in danger by running around here, going to parties, etc. And that's something that I'd also noticed in Florida. They're throwing street parties and all types of barbecues, and you name it. They're still functioning like there's no virus going on.
Yeah. Girl, I was in quarantine, and you already know my story. We're not going to get into that. But I was at home working, doing stuff, and I wasn't working in the hospital during the first wave, and I was happy. I just wanted to get out like the last couple of weeks. So when I did those other interviews, I was just like, okay, you know, it's starting to open up, but I never really, I already knew it was going to happen again. I was just like, let me get out here now while they say it's open, because this ish is about to close back down. Yeah. And that's why you see me at the restaurant doing my two little couple of things. I said, let me get in and get my food real quick, sit down, and act normal for like a couple of seconds, and then we're gonna go back inside the house because this is about to get crazy. And that's exactly what happened. I already know. So I just was like, whatever. These people are not gonna learn until it hits close to home. And despite what anybody thinks, I wear my mask all the time. The only time you don't see me really wearing a mask is if I was shooting. And I'm always, most of the time, I'm 6 feet. And I try my best not to, even when you're taking all the precautions, people are getting tested and testing positive for corona with no symptoms and coming out positive. Like, so it's just, there's no way to escape it. And like I said, I'm tired of talking about corona. I know you're tired of talking about corona.
Of course, because I have to deal with that as well. And I have to deal with, as the numbers go up, you know that I also work in a hospital environment, and I'm having to deal with the families of these people who are tested positive. And it makes my job harder every day because there are new symptoms every single day. And it is very hard to tell a family member that you cannot come in to visit your family member. I mean, I'm the first line of fire when people walk into a hospital. So with that being said, you know, it's a tough thing for me. And when I see people doing things that are making those numbers go higher, it makes me want to scream. It truly does, because people don't realize this is serious. This is not a game. And apparently, you know, a lot of people are still going off of so many other things, and they're just not using their heads. And I really want them to just use their heads and at least protect yourself and protect your family members. And, you know, that's the best thing that I can say with that situation. But you're right. I'm tired of the coronavirus, too, and talking about it.
I know, man. Corona, it messed up every plan that I had. And that's light. But it really is just messing up people's lives. People are losing their jobs. People are dying. It's just the economy is all jacked up, and it just needs to. I don't know, but they got these vaccines. I just don't know. I don't know what. All we could do is pray. Okay. So I mean, on that note, I didn't want to end it on that note. Do you like? I would have liked to end it on something. So, do you have a man? No.
You know what? The answer to that is no. I mean, I am casually dating, but no, I'm not with one.
An entanglement.
Say that again.
An entanglement.
I don't even know if it's an entanglement because I have a couple of different entanglements.
Woo!
I always make sure that, I believe in being a free agent until there is a ring on this finger and there's no ring on this finger. So therefore,
Okay,
like a
I
free
heard
agent,
that.
you test out different teams, et cetera, and you make sure that before you get into something that is stable, that you try things out. Just like when you go to a buffet. When you go to a buffet, do you eat one thing or do you try samples of many other things? And see, that's how I look at dating. I don't look at it as I'm going to be stuck with just one person until, we both feel like that, we want to do that and we want to be in something serious. And I'm a monogamous person. But with that being said, I'm also, because we may or may not have talked about this, but I fall under the LGBT community. And a lot of people are not aware of that. I am what is called pansexual, which a lot of people confuse that. They confuse that because they think, okay, I know bisexual, I know gay, I know straight. They also know swingers, and they also are aware of people that are polyamorous, and it's completely different.
Explain what pansexual is, girl.
Pansexual means that your gender does not matter to me. So you could be transgender, and I would date you. You could be straight, you could be gay, you could be anywhere in the sexuality range. And if I like you, I like you, and that's that. And if we want to date and we both agree that it's okay, then that's that. And it doesn't make a difference to me. It's up to the individuals. And I don't have any barriers in reference to that. And see, that's, the issue that people are confused by, because they think, and also I'm monogamous. I'm not one that once I've decided that I'm in a relationship, we both made that decision, I'm monogamous. And see, people think that I'm either a swinger or they think that I am polyamorous, which is completely different. Polyamorous, basically that means that you're in a relationship with someone, but then you allow your partner to be with other people within that relationship. So you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend on the side as well. And no, I'm definitely not the one that can do that. I deal with one person at a time. I think one personality and my personality, that's enough.
Yeah, because you're a Sagittarius, girl. And I know, like, I love all my Sagittariuses, but sometimes if y'all don't, it has to be,
share.
Huh?
We don't believe in sharing, period.
No, you don't. You don't want to share. And so I'm glad you cleared that up. And it's so dope that you explained it the way you did. And basically, Aleesha, all you're saying is you're not sleeping around with everybody, okay? No. Y'all all, and I'm not saying men, women, I'm saying any, gender, y'all all buffet menu items. And when she's ready to settle down, she'll pick you. And she does not discriminate.
Right.
She's pansexual. She does not discriminate. She will date you as long as you're a good person. And it's going to be a one-on-one. When she's committed, it's one-on-one. It's not we doing this one and that one. We all doing each other. No, it's not anything like that.
No. It's definitely not that whole group thing. Not for me. I mean, when it comes to people, their sexuality, what is okay for them, I respect everybody. My thing is this, with the LGBT community, I stand for them. And a lot of people are very surprised because they don't know. And so I'm an ally, I'm part of the community, etc. And I stand up for them always. With that being said, I wanted to mention something about that as well. I'm actually a host of a documentary we're shooting.
You were telling me about that. Yeah, tell everybody about the documentary.
The documentary is about the Pulse nightclub, and we have, it's called Forgotten Survivors, and I'm the host of Forgotten Survivors. We've been working on it for about 3 years, and we actually have been trying to get the funding to finish the project. But what it is, we're talking to people that were in the Pulse nightclub shooting. We have one guy that was shot 19 times, and he actually was pronounced dead twice. And he is still alive to tell the story. He lost the lower part of his legs. And the thing that's sad about the situation is several of the people that are in our documentary were actually in Pulse nightclub. They were either shot, or they were in there and got out, or they may have been the spouse of the person that was shot and killed, or the friend. And with that being said, he lost his friend as well, I believe, inside of Pulse nightclub. And the scary part, about the whole situation is that I was actually in Pulse nightclub the weekend before. And it's just crazy that now I'm the host of this documentary.
Full circle, baby.
Full circle, definitely. I'm the host, and I've been in Pulse many, many times. And those of us who were patrons of Pulse nightclub, the horror and the terror that we felt, whether we were there or not. And the thing is, I was supposed to be there the night of the shooting because I got invited to the party.
Lord.
And it just so happens that I worked overnight weekends at my regular job. And my boss said to me, well, you know, I actually have good news and bad news. Which one do you want? And she said, the good news is you're going to have Saturdays off from now on, but not until next week. The bad news is you can't have the night off. And so I'm at work, I'm mad, I'm pouting, everything. And I was at work. And thank goodness I was at work because that's when the shooting happened, when I was at work. And I found out about the shooting because I went to get coffee. I kept falling asleep at my desk because I worked overnight. And I go out into the cafeteria area where we had a television, and I see one of the hosts of the shows, a guy named Nima. I see him walk across the screen carrying someone, and I'm like, why is Nima on television? And because the volume was down, I had security turn the volume up, and I thought, oh, somebody was in the club acting crazy and decided to shoot. I didn't know it was a mass shooter at the time. And it was the craziest thing because I had a friend that was in town that weekend prior. It was Gay Days here in Orlando, and we were going to go to Latin Night that weekend, and I overslept. So I had said to her, you know, I wish you could be here next week because anyone that knows me knows how much I love Latin music, and Latin Night at Pulse, that was my favorite place to be. And people as far as South Africa, I have friends there, know that Saturday nights were my night, which is Latin Night at Pulse nightclub. And so what happened after I saw the television, I went to get my phone. I put it in my locker to charge because I had a very short cord and a charger in there. I go and I get my phone, and I had over 100 calls, people calling me because everyone, including my brother, knew I was at Pulse nightclub normally on that Saturday night. And it just so happens that I had to work and I wasn't there. So it's very ironic that I'm now the host of Pulse nightclubs, well, the Forgotten Survivors, you know, talking about Pulse nightclub. It is.
And sometimes that's what happens in life. You have those full circle moments. I was working in the hospital when that happened, and we were just waiting for people to come, and we were further out.
Yeah.
We weren't we weren't downtown at Orlando Health,
Yes.
but we were further out, closer to Kissimmee, and we were still waiting on standby to get patients, and I believe we did get some patients. But I do want to thank you so much, and I can't wait to see this documentary. And we just had the anniversary during Pride last month of the Pulse nightclub shooting. So rest in peace to everybody that was lost in that. And I'm glad that you opened up about all of that. And it's very important for people to hear these stories because people don't know. People, like I said, when I first saw you, I thought, oh, you know, she's reserved. There's a whole lot to Aleesha that y'all don't know, guys. And I'm here to bring it to you. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy we got a chance to sit down. I know we could go on for days. Me and you.
Absolutely. I want to tell you one more thing.
Huh?
I want to tell you one more thing before we go about
you the documentary. Okay, Aleesha.
I just want people to know that the donations that were given to the Pulse nightclub and the survivors, etc., that in my documentary, a lot of the people in this documentary received absolutely no help. As a matter of fact, a lot of them are living paycheck to paycheck. They are living in poverty, etc. So this is what we're trying to make people understand, that some people benefited from the donations that were given and some did not. And so the ones that I'm interviewing, they didn't get that opportunity. They were not made aware. And there are just some people that were left out of this entire thing. And a lot of the news networks, et cetera, didn't even know these people existed. And the idea of Forgotten Survivors actually came from myself. And there was one other person who actually opened my eyes to these people. But I came up with the film crew, et cetera, because I let them know that in order for you to get the story told the way it needs to be told, you must get your own film crew, director, producer, etc. So I produced that for them, as far as producing those people that could help them out.
So you got a producer credit on this.
Absolutely. Well, I'm hoping that we can finally finish this. And like I said, we're still trying to find the financial backing, because our producer, she's 100% coming out of her own pocket. And as you know, productions are very expensive. We were going through the editing process, and we're still working on my part as well. But, you know, coronavirus has kind of ended everything for everybody at this moment.
Yeah.
But really hoping we can bring this out so that we can bring the stories of those who have been forgotten out to the public.
All right. Thanks for adding that last part, because that's very important for people to know, that they should definitely, when this documentary is released, to go see this and support it and get the real facts, because often, a lot of times, things are reported and they're not reported accurately. You think people got some type of relief and some assistance, and there's people that were affected and have never been the same, and not just for health reasons, financially, they've never been helped or assisted in any kind of way. So I'm glad that you got a chance to speak on that. That's it. I'm so happy that I've been wanting to interview you for a while. I am so happy that we did it.
Finally.
Girl, like I said,
we need a part two, you know.
Part two? We need a part two? Yeah, we can have a part two, but it needs to get nastier, though. Okay. I just play it. They're going to think I'm some type of freak. Listen, but we got to definitely do a road trip when we get out of this quarantine stuff, because we need to go to that, well, you know what? I don't want to blow it up, but we're both into, like, we're both into, you know what? I'm not going to say it. We're going to keep that for part two. But anyway, Aleesha, tell everybody, first of all, tell everybody where they can find you on Instagram, Facebook. Give all your socials.
You can find me on Facebook, but unfortunately, I can't bring on more friends. But I'm under Contact A, Kerri. Also, Instagram, anybody can follow me there at Aleeoops. It's ALEEOOPS 2017. That's your best bet. Soon I will be coming out with a YouTube page as well, where I'm going to travel around the world and sample food and go to different events, etc. So I'm going to be coming out with that real soon. And so hopefully we will get Juju on there to try out food along with.
On there. You're going to get me. I am going to be on there.
Absolutely. So
I'm going to be sampling the food, traveling with you.
Yeah, we're gonna be Gail and Oprah, I guess.
We're going to be on the road. All right. So, Aleesha, thank you so much for joining me and doing this. Oh, God, man. It was great. I loved it. And I just want everybody to go follow Aleesha. Support her acting, modeling, and everything like that. And next time you watch the Home Shopping Network and you see that might be Aleesha.
Yeah, it will probably be me.
But thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I'll be back with new episodes. Please make sure you continue to support. I'm your girl, Just Juju, and this is Always 718. Peace.
Coming in, flex. I just wanna win, LABB, who we running with, 2233, I'm on 10 again, state your name. Big been dope on flame, I just switched the lanes. Damn, he did it again, I just flipped the pain. Stripping and dipping in bass, slab on everything. Swimming, you sinking away, cause I got big racks coming. I put my low racks on it. I ain't skip past losses, I had to get back.
Don't you just get tired chasing fame and being pretty all the time? Doesn't sound like fun. You can do better. Let me show you what a good time looks like. You can